Hello, Steelers Nation, and welcome to, yes, a brand new episode of the Steel City Insider podcast. And just to make sure you are aware, there are only 18 days before the Steelers will take the field for their first preseason game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They report to camp, really, when you're watching this, the 23rd, and they start practice the 24th. And here to talk about it all, the insider himself, Jim Wexell. Jim, how are you today, sir?
I'm all right, Jeremy. It's my last day of freedom. I'm unsure about tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go greet the players as they enter. I don't know. What do you think?
I think you should.
Really? I mean, I greeted them all spring. I really don't have any questions to ask. I do want to ask TJ why his arms are so big. I'd like to talk to Ramsey. So, yeah, okay, maybe I will. Maybe you talk me into it. But it's just another, it's just like another OTA. Tomorrow, it's still not even, they're still not going to hit. When do they hit? Sunday?
Yeah, I think Sunday. Yeah.
Well, Sundays are made for violence, right?
They are. And you pointed something out too that I wasn't sure if anybody else caught it, but you talked about TJ Watt's arms. I saw that picture when he was working out with Herbig, and I had to do a double take. I'm like, what in the world? He looks jacked out of his mind.
He made Herbig look like a safety, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Well, I'm curious. They drafted a big outside linebacker, a defensive end who is. That's another thing I want to ask Sawyer. Are you in the defensive line room at times? Are they mixing you up? Because Dunlap, the defensive line coach, called him my man, Jack Sawyer. And he included him when he was talking about defensive linemen. He's 265 pounds. That's big for an outside linebacker. So do they want to have bigger DNs? Do they want them to be DNs or outside linebackers? And then TJ shows up in that picture looking like he's put on at least 10.
Yeah.
And who's the other guy? Oh, DeMarvin Leal's played just about all. I almost said outside linebacker, defensive end in their, so-called base. But I just wonder if it's a four-man front now. I know, we used to ask that question every year. Are they going 4-3? Are they going 4-3? And now we stop asking. It looks like they're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, his biceps alone look like they could fill a gap. So, gosh, that was pretty intense there. But I'm glad I wasn't the only one who picked up on it. But Jim, there's so much to cover. It's been a while since we had some time to talk, but I don't know where you want to start. We probably should start with the trade. I think the last episode we talked about how Minkah Fitzpatrick was looking poised for a hell of a year, and then we get this big trade.
Interesting in that they now have three corners, and I assume Ramsey is going to be the free safety in the base, and the base is rarely used. So they have three corners, and when they go to a nickel, they can bring Thornhill in as the safety, as the post, as a deep guy, and they can use three. They have three man cover corners now, or they can do quarters. I mean, quarters are cover four deep corners and safeties. That's become the fad right now in the NFL. And I know the Steelers used a lot more last year, but now they have three cover corners. So I know Minkah could cover too, but not like Ramsey. So I'm going to believe that's the trend that that's the direction they want to go. And that's why they made that trade. I have a feeling Ramsey is a guy that Tomlin loved. Jonnu Smith is a guy that Arthur Smith loved. Minkah was a big sacrifice.
Yeah. And it seemed kind of out of the blue for me because Fitzpatrick just seemed to be part of the Steelers culture, at least over the last however many years. And while there are other players on the team that would seem suitable or likely to be traded, he just didn't seem to be one. Was there any type of disconnection between Fitzpatrick and the organization or his teammates, or was it just purely schematic? Like you said, they want to play more, have more pure cover corners or cover defensive backs.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was that. I don't know if there's a disconnect between Minkah and Tomlin. I kind of doubt it. I watched Cam Hayward's podcast right after the day after he was traded. He looked a little pissed. I mean, he would always say to me, "You guys think Minka's real quiet because Minkah there. That's where the disconnect was. Minkah and the media, maybe.
Hmm.
We wanted more from him. Not, I mean, he wasn't surly by any means. He wasn't moody. He was just quiet, and he tended to avoid us when he could, and he rarely talked. Like the game that Deshaun Elliott went off, it was all kind of bad communication problems. Was it Kansas City? One of those late games. It was just awful
Hmm.
communication issues in the secondary, and Deshaun Elliott ripped. It seemed like he was ripping other players, and Minkah was nowhere to be found, and I thought a leader should have stepped up and spoke a little more thoughtfully. Hey, I'm not. I have no problem with what Deshaun Elliott did. I'm not saying it was unthoughtful, but I thought it required a more gentle touch to complement that
Hmm.
a guy going off, and it was great that he went off because somebody needed to go off.
Hmm.
Everybody's tired of the communication issue problem. And then they bring in a new coach, and that supposedly was going to help that issue. So disconnect, I don't know. That's he's quiet. Did they want more leadership? I don't know. Judging by the things Cam has always said about Minkah, that he wasn't as quiet as we in the media thought. So, or I mean, his nature was to be quiet. You talk to the players. No, Minkah hasn't helped me yet, but when he does, but then again, Minkah was also out there catching tennis balls for an hour after practice with whatever other young DBs wanted to be with him.
Hmm.
I mean, he wasn't giving instruction; he was just doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to question his leadership, but to a degree, I am. I thought to the media he needed to step forward. That's where I'm hoping Derek Harmon watches Cam Hayward, how he deals with the media. There's leadership, and there's learning, and there's going over the details, and there's helping young guys, and there's also stepping up and speaking to the media. And he's gonna watch Cam and learn how Cam does that. It's a necessary evil
Yeah.
talking to the media, but it's necessary
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
to the public.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other part of that trade, Jonnu Smith, tight end, he's going to add some
Yeah, I
versatility
don't
to
want
this
to go
offense.
over this trade too much. I mean, we talked about the quarters. There's a lot of other positions. We could talk about what the tight end position and what it means to maybe wide receivers.
Hmm.
But, is Jonnu going to be that receiver that they need? Is Robert Woods have any life left? I really like his leadership.
Hmm.
Um, do they not want to get in the way of putting a couple of 4-3 quick young guys on the field? Austin's going to get on the field. We know that. Do they want to put someone else in the way of Roman Wilson getting on the field? He runs a 4-3 as well. A
Hmm.
couple of quick guys. Jonnu Smith, does he pick up that slack? Do they believe Robert Woods has life? They still have money left. That was the thing about the TJ holdout. You knew he had the leverage. There
Yeah.
was nothing the Steelers could say. It was not like when Hines Ward held out and they were just scraping to find extra money. They have the money and they knew to market. TJ's just like, what are you doing? Let's get this done, or the market's going to go up. But they have money left. Are they going to buy a wide receiver? I don't know if they're going to buy a safety. I don't know. You think they
Mhm.
would have already brought one in by now?
Yeah.
But a wide receiver doesn't need to learn all the free safety ropes, right? So, you know, Jonnu, are they going to use a lot of three tight end? These are some of the questions we'll see at camp. We
Mhm.
talked about the free safety, what they're going to do with quarters. Um, what are they going to do with the tight ends? Are they going to use three? Because you'd hate to leave Darnell Washington off the field. He might be a
Mhm.
better tackle than Broderick Jones.
Yeah.
which leads us to another question, big camp question. But anyway, as for the receivers and the tight ends, let's just see how it unfolds. I kind of put the questions. I don't have the answers. This is more of a what are the questions podcast,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, I think that's a perfect segue too. I mean, the players are reporting tomorrow, so that's the 23rd, first practice the 24th, and the offseason pretty much is complete. You talked about potentially adding a wide receiver or a safety that can happen via trade here in the next couple months, but now that the quarterback is in place, the draft picks are signed, other trades here, adding a Ramsey, adding a Smith, heading into training camp, we talked about a few of the questions that need to be answered, but what are some of those other big major questions that this team has to provide clarity to in order for them to succeed in 2025?
Broderick Jones. And if Broderick Jones can't do it, who can? Calvin Anderson, I believe, played one snap last year and whiffed badly.
Mhm.
Dylan Cook, I have a little more confidence in Dylan Cook, but he appears to be the backup right tackle. You remember my plan from way back, Darnell Washington. I
Yep.
would make a tackle, and that way, as a third tackle, he can still line up as a blocking tight end, and he's also in insurance. But I mean, he would have a long way to go at that position, but not that far. If Broderick can't handle it, they need somebody over there. And with a 41-year-old quarterback, I mean, come on. And Fautado, he's a slighter question because he played so well at camp last year. Will his knee hold up?
Mhm.
He talked to me. I asked him if it was the same knee issue that was the medical question mark coming out of college. And he said, no, I forget the term he used. It did not sound good. I didn't follow up. I should have. What exactly it was that problem? So
Mhm.
he had another issue coming out, and this was a different injury.
Mhm.
So, how's he going to hold up? That's a question too, the tackles.
Yeah, and there's been a lot that's been invested in this offensive line to rebuild it and to add young pieces. And there comes a time when the rubber has to hit the road and the performance has to be there. But I think that's a great question that needs to be answered regarding Jones because great rookie, not a great rookie season, but above average, fell off last year. Year three, he's got to perform. He's got to put it
Right. I
out
mean,
there.
I'm not as skeptical of the rookies, the three rookies, last year's three rookies.
Hmm.
I expect them to improve and play well. Broderick's still the question mark because he
Yeah.
did not improve last year. You're right.
Yeah. Yep. And then we'll just stick with that offensive side of the ball, going to the backfield there. Warren. So we have a rookie pair with Jaylen Warren in the backfield. And what are you expecting from this running attack minus Najee Harris this year?
Well, Jaylen Warren has been so disrespected, especially coming into this year. I think it was the Post Gazette that said, don't expect Jaylen Warren to be the starting running back. I don't know if Jalen read that. I don't know if he's read anything on Twitter, but he came to camp, last spring, the year before, he was injured. He was on and off the field. He was working with the trainers. I remember him leaving and he's saying it's no big deal. And then his season was a bit of a disappointment. Not so, nothing like that this year. And he was bulked up. And I asked him, I came late to a mob scene with Jalen. I said, Jalen, you look great. Tell me about your conditioning. He goes, well, like I just told these guys, I didn't come this far to come this far. I'm like, all right. I
I
like your
like it.
attitude, man. He has a quiet fire burning inside. So I expect a good year from him. Kenny G, your musical hero. Kenneth Gainwell. Did you ever go to the Kenny G concert?
I've never been to a Kenny G concert.
Uh-huh.
I haven't.
Yeah. Well, I had a girlfriend once, and we broke up, and she went with another guy to the Kenny G show, and then we got back together, and she always bragged about it. And I'm like, he took you to the Kenny G show?
No thanks.
So, anyway, Kenneth Gainwell. is a good third down back, a winning back for the Philadelphia Eagles in their Super Bowl year. Mike Tomlin knows about Kenny G and the problems he caused him when they played the Eagles, and of course Caleb Johnson
Yeah.
has to. They have to be confident in his pass blocking because that can get your quarterback killed too. They have to be physically. He's going to be fine. Mentally, is he going to be able to pick this up?
Hmm.
I mean, he was the offense at Iowa. I don't know if they wanted to waste time teaching him how to pass block. That offense was putrid, except for him. So, I mean, he ran in stack boxes and he has great vision and he cut it back. I like him a lot. So, watching him will be interesting. And Evan Hall, I mean, that's a fourth back. That's a deep group. I can see why they got rid of Ward. Ward looked good in the spring too, and
Hmm.
I hope he catches on with somebody. I think he's talented back too. And they still have the fifth back, Sermon from Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I liked Rudy from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Hurleman, Max Hurleman.
Yep.
They're working him at slot receiver a lot. He looks like Rich Ehrenberg. He went to Colgate. I call him Rudy because he went to Notre Dame for a year. Little small running back. I mean, I know Rudy was a defensive end, but Hurleman went to Colgate for 4 years, like Rich Ehrenberg, and we've talked about him here. Um, but Hurleman is working in the slot. I said, why are they working you in the slot instead of he's in the receiver room too? And he said, I think because the slot's so complicated, they want me to work with the receivers because my guess, he said, my guess is they if I do make this team, if I have a future, it's as a third down running back, and I would have to know the slot. So I'm taking a crash course in that now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things about him that I like, and he's got a good chance to make the practice squad if they need someone beyond Hall. Evan
Yeah.
Hull's a rocked up. He looks like he could play fullback, and they got a fullback. The fourth tight end is going to compete with Connor Hayward to play that fullback spot. I think he's a legit fullback,
Hmm.
tight end slash fullback. Um, DJ Thomas Jones. Did I get that right?
It's Thomas hyphen something. Yeah.
Yeah. Where's Nick Farabaugh when we
I
need
know.
him? So a lot of interesting pieces like that, and of course, you didn't mention the quarterbacks yet.
Yeah, well, there we go.
Yeah.
We jump right over there to Aaron Rodgers, and we've talked about this in previous shows, but now that we're closer to camp, the real question is going to be what version of Aaron Rodgers do we get? Is he going to? He doesn't have to play like he did during his MVP seasons, and it's not like he played poorly last year. But are we going to get something in between? Are we going to get more MVP Rodgers? Are we going to get more Jets Rodgers? That's the
Well,
big
hey,
question.
they have to get the running game going. Matt Steele put that. It was great the way he put in his column. They have to, and they have to run against stacked boxes too.
Mhm.
Don't you can't be as Matt said, you can't be predictable. You can't just not stack box. This is what we're going to do. The defense dictates to you. I think a guy like Caleb Johnson and Jalen can run against stack boxes. Um, Left tackle, the pass blocking out of the running back, um, blocking from Jonnu, Pat Fryermuth. That all has to come together.
Mhm.
That's a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot. It's a lot. There's
You know,
there's no
you
doubt.
people talk about this being a all-in year, like it's the future is now, like it's George Allen back. You probably don't remember George Allen, do you?
No.
The Redskins of
I was gonna say
1972.
Redskins.
How old were you in 1972?
I was just a glimmer in my mom and dad's eye.
So they never told you about the Over the Hill gang. He
No.
traded all his draft picks and brought in veterans, and they went to the Super Bowl and almost beat the Dolphins 14-7, the undefeated Dolphins.
Wow.
That was that team. They had a bunch of old guys, kind of like this. They brought in stars and trades, but they traded all their draft picks. The Steelers didn't. Did it differently.
Yeah.
But the one place, people are going to say it was the quarterback, Justin
Fields.
Fields. Man, how easily they're forgotten.
Yes.
People say it was Justin Fields or Aaron Rodgers, and but I don't think it was an either or with this quarterback, but I think it was Jackson Dart or Derek Harmon. I think that's what we may look back upon with regrets, or
Mhm.
the Steelers may look back upon with regrets. You draft a defensive tackle and you sign Aaron Rodgers. You can draft Jackson Dart and still sign Aaron Rodgers. That might help Jackson,
Mhm.
but then you still need a defensive line, and you're not all in. You didn't patch up a big need. And with Keanu Benton, that's not a huge need. He's going to be a defensive tackle, but you need a third defensive tackle, a third really good defensive tackle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that patched a hole. That's kind of going all in. So I think I really don't, because they offered Justin Fields 20 million.
Mhm.
And I believe after coaching him for a year and offering him 20 million, that's enough. They took their shot on him. But you could look back with bigger regrets if Jackson Dart becomes a quality football player, quality quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's definitely lots of questions that this team has to answer. Any other things that you're really looking forward to or that you want to see clarified here over the next few weeks before that first preseason game?
Well, the inside linebackers are going to have to play better. Peyton Wilson, I totally have confidence that he'll play better. Patrick Queen, I suspect he'll play better or not. I'm not sure. That's a question that we'll
Yeah.
we'll we'll see if that gets answered. And Cole Holcomb, how healthy is he? Um, and hey, they have Malik Harrison, they have Carson Bruner, and they have Mark Robinson. They're pretty deep at inside linebacker, but let's see some pizzazz. Let's see some. Give me a good adjective. Let's see some out of the inside linebackers.
Effervescence?
Oh, effervescence. We want that out of the media. We want that out of our podcast guests.
I'm rusty, Jim. I got to get back on my podcast
Yeah,
game.
we're all going to have to get back on our game. I should go tomorrow and greet the players as they come in. It's just it's like the worst day, and except for the combine, it's the worst day. It's a
Yeah.
mob, and everybody gets, by the time you get home to write it, it's all over the internet, every interview. It's pretty much a waste of time. But I'd rather get a one-on-one with Jalen Ramsey later, or that probably won't happen. But a
Mhm.
one-on-one with TJ,
Yeah.
slide that in there and ask him about his massive arms.
Yeah, I would love to hear about that because he would look more like JJ than TJ.
Well, I don't know. Uh, JJ, did you see the McAfee show the other day?
I saw some headlines from it that he was saying that he's if his brother ever tries to give him the check.
Well, that was a tweet.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was a tweet.
if he ever even lets me try to go for my wallet. Yeah. No, JJ's looking thinner. I mean, these guys do get out of the game, and especially the health conscious of them, and they start to lose a little weight.
Mhm.
So comparing him now is not fair. But
Yeah, I'm talking, yeah, the
no,
NFL
I'm
days.
I'm disagreeing with you. I'm saying he looks a lot bigger than JJ, but then again, JJ's not playing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, Jim, tell us about the book.
Oh, we got another book coming out. Wolf's book. Wolf wrote it. I'm the caretaker, surrounded with family. A lot of love in that book. A lot of cool football stories. But if you get it on pre-sale now at Amazon, it's coming out in September.
Okay.
And we at Steel City Insider are going to have our big sale August 1st. So
Okay.
and you can go back and read all the morning afters and before that, but I know it's going to be tough. Morning afters I love writing them as much as people say they love reading them. So that's where you
I
get the inside stuff and write long and write diary form. And yeah,
I can't wait. That means that football is almost here. So I'm excited. We'll link that down in the show notes. But Jim,
usually
it's great.
I'm getting your airline tickets taken care of, but not this year. You're not coming
Not
to camp this
yeah,
year.
I'm not gonna be able to make it out this year. So there is a tiny outside chance, but it's not looking good for this. Will be the first year I don't make it because
I know.
it's a little disappointing.
I
I'll
know.
miss you guys.
Can't get our podcast going from there. We have to do it on Zoom again.
I know. Well, I'll be there in spirit. So,
Okay. Okay.
all right. Well, that's going to do it. We're glad to be back. We'll be back here next week. We'll have a lot of stuff to cover.
Yeah.
Again, you can check out Jim's work at Still City Insider, and make sure you like, subscribe if you haven't done so. And we'll see you back here for a brand new episode of Still City Insider Podcast. Jim, have a great week.
See you, Jeremy.
All right. Take care.